Chanel's Reality. Listen, I'm new to YouTube, right? I'm trying to grow my audience or community, rather. So I'm Chanel. I've only been on here for maybe a month, maybe. Um, but I'll talk about on Chanel's Reality. That's the name of my YouTube channel. But what we talk about over here is celebrity news, gossip, reality TV is one of my favorite pastimes. So hence the name Chanel's Reality. Today I want to come on here for a few minutes and talk to you guys about something I think is very sad. Wendy Williams. We're going to talk about her for a sec. But listen, before we get started, please, 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 if y'all can, help me grow my community by um, liking this video, subscribing to my channel, sharing my videos, hit the notification button so you'll know anytime I go live, anytime I upload new videos, and it's a free and easy way to support me, right? All right. And the other thing I want to say too is listen, if you're married, I'm an old married lady, right? And put in your vows that the temperature of the house, listen, why do I have a whole heater. Look, look, I got a whole heater. Okay? Sis, got a whole heater. Men play too much. It's too cold. Plus, I'm anemic. Anyway, okay. So, we're going to talk about Wendy Williams today. And, you know, I was never a big Wendy fan. I did watch her show. But the reason, honestly, I ever even knew about Wendy, there was this other guy, I think on E Network or something, named Joel something. He's a comedian of some sort. I think he's married to that one lady. She's an actress too. Anyway, he used to make fun of Wendy. And that's how I found out who Wendy was, because he every day literally would go in on her. And so that's how I found out who Wendy Williams was. I never heard her on the radio or anything like that. But I did watch her show over the years. I wasn't like an avid watcher, but I did watch her show. She to me was funny, fun, shady as but I would say definitely connected in the keep your ear to the streets, people. Anywho, today I feel like this is a sad video, but I'm gonna try to be upbeat because that's just who I am. I try to, live in the light. So, um, it's being reported. Several outlets are reporting, uh, including Inside Edition. I watched theirs as well. I watched a few others, but they're reporting that Wendy Williams has been diagnosed with dementia and aphasia. Okay. Oh Lord. So I am in the mental health space, so I understand. I mean, I don't know the scope of every mental illness. I don't, or disorder rather. But definitely, I do know about dementia. Aphasia, honestly, I heard that on Scandal that one time. And then I was Googling, like, what's aphasia? Anyways, according to the Googler, guys, I want you to know that this is all alleged. Let's start there. But be very clear that these disorders that I'm going to talk about and or diagnoses and illnesses, they all really require a physician, a psychiatrist to fully diagnose it. So it comes with criteria. Any type of mental health disorder, disease, whatever you want to call it, mental health break. It has criteria to be able to call it that. So, but anyway, it's been reported that she has dementia. Now, I looked up on the Googler just so, I could give you guys something specific. It says dementia is not a specific disease, but dementia is a group of conditions characterized by impairment of at least two brain functions. So that means it's impaired. It's not working. Such as memory loss and judgment. Yeah, dementia is a really, 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 really nasty disease. I do know that. And if that's true, that's really a bad situation, because most of us, I think on some level, has heard of Alzheimer's. Dementia is very, I would say, similar. They have similar traits. But my understanding of dementia is it's a lot faster. They both are deadly, from my understanding. And it's a sad situation. I'm praying to God there's a misdiagnosis somewhere. I'm praying to God. So aphasia is defined as a condition that affects the ability to speak, write, and understand language, according to the Mayo Clinic. It says basically it's saying that it's a language disorder, and it can occur after a stroke or head injury, and can even lead in some cases to dementia. So, like I said, dementia is worse in my opinion. From what I've read, it seems to be worse. The other part to this is, okay, if you've been following any type of pop culture news, you know Wendy Williams was one of those people that was like kind of at the top of the food chain in terms of like celebrity gossip, right? She was on TV every day, putting everybody's business on blast, you know. Like a lot of other shows do. She just had a major platform to do it. But anywho, according to Wendy Williams' care team, it's being reported that Wendy Williams has been diagnosed with the progressive aphasia and a frontal temporal dementia. So again, go Google that. I gave you guys kind of like the basis of what it is, based on what I looked up. So all of this is bad. Shout out to Wendy Williams and her family and the people that actually do care about her. Because right now, I don't know who to trust. I never really trusted Kelvin after that whole situation. But I didn't really know him like that. But like I said, I didn't really watch Wendy like that. I kind of knew him by extension on some level. But he didn't seem like a good guy, in my opinion. So can't trust him. And then they have a son together who, shout out to little Kev. I'm sure this is difficult. Everybody needs their mom. You do. You need your mom. And Wendy, I'm certain her mom passed away recently or in the last maybe 3 to 4 years. I'm not exactly sure when she passed away, but I'm certain that I'll say this. In my opinion, I think it's the totality of everything, right? If you go back and you look at, Wendy, the last, I would say 2 or 3 years that she was on Wendy Williams' show, she, to me, it's mind-boggling to me, the decline that happened, right? Because it just seems like it came out of nowhere, in my opinion. It seems like, people were saying Kelvin, the dad, was this terrible human being. And, you got people like Charlemagne the God and the Breakfast Club saying Wendy needs to leave before she don't wake up, allegedly, or something. They're alleging that this man was harming her, in my opinion. That's what I got from these different outlets saying things like that about him. And then Wendy came on her show one year and said, I think she fell with that I don't know if it was a Halloween. I think it was a Halloween costume. She was like the Statue of Liberty, and she fell. I remember that. I was actually watching it at home. Ironically, it's crazy. I was like, oh my god. But what to me was more interesting is that literally they went on commercial break, and I feel like when they came back, Wendy was back like a showman. I just was like, if my loved one, because my understanding, her ex-husband Kevin Hunter, was like her manager, right? And I think he was like the stage manager at her show. So if you're the stage manager, I'm sure you're there on the stage monitoring. So if I'm not only your stage manager, but I'm your husband, I'm gonna have a problem with the fact that you just fell down. It's seemingly out of nowhere. She just fell down out of nowhere. Just was talking and then was like, that's problematic. And then, like I said, they came back from commercial at some point. She was back on. It was just, it to me felt like, shout out to the late great, simply the best, better than all the rest, Tina Turner. Rest her soul in peace. But that's what it felt like. If you guys ever watched the Tina Turner What's Love Got to Do with It movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. Where it's just like, I just was a horrible human being. Horrible to her. But she would get her life together, put her makeup on, and go back out there. That's what, to me, that scene where she fell down and she seemed very disoriented gave. It's, to me, that, like I said, this is a sad situation. So Wendy Williams' niece, who over the years, like I said, if you watch Wendy Williams, you know that she, really adored her niece. She really loved her niece. and was a good auntie based on, what Wendy Williams said. But I'm a good auntie too. So I'm just saying. So of course. But anyways, her niece went on to a talk show. Which I don't remember which one it was that she went on. She went on a talk show and she gave a. I feel like she was trying to clarify some things for the audience, the people who care about Wendy Williams, or the people who are ready to dig her grave for her or whatever. I'm not saying literally, but you know what I mean. Like people just want to ruin your career. That's what it seems like. So there's two, schools of thought. People who feel like, well, she talked about everybody's, dirty laundry for however many years, so who cares? And then you have the other group of people who agreed with everything Wendy said, loved Wendy down, supported her out and everybody. There's that group. And then I think there's a group in the middle, which is people like me who I'm kind of like, I don't think you should be outing people, but Wendy isn't the only person on TV outing people and all of their nefarious behavior, alleged nefarious behavior. So obviously there's a space for her. She had an audience and she did what she did. For what she did, she's an icon in that lane. I don't personally, she ain't my favorite person, I'm gonna say it like that, but I do have compassion. But her niece went on to the talk show, and to me I felt like her niece was holding back, and I understood that, right? Because her niece is probably like a gatekeeper. You gotta have gatekeepers. Some gatekeepers are there to keep good people or different people from getting in, right? Structurally, they don't want you to get in if you're a certain color, a certain gender, whatever. And then there are other gatekeepers who are there to protect the people who are behind the gate, who may or may not have the right words to say, may or may not be in, a good position to say certain things, may or may not say something to get themselves in deeper trouble or legal trouble. And so you have a gatekeeper. And I feel like at this point, her niece is her gatekeeper on some level, because you can kind of tell how people talk about you, who's supposed to have your back or supposed to be in the know. And I felt like from what I heard from her niece, she seemed to care. And to me, the reason I say that, the reason I picked up on that is because she held back, in my opinion. In my opinion. And I think that's intentional and purposeful because she respects her aunt and she respects her aunt's privacy, and or she may not have all the details. And so I think it's better to just shut the hell up if you don't know. Then say things, let it come up not true or become false later, and then you're no longer credible. But like I said, to me, what she said rang true. But I did feel like she was holding back, and I think it was out of respect for her auntie. The show that she was on, the people asked her about Wendy's alcoholism. Like I said, Wendy, a few years before her show went off the air, came on the air and said that, and it just seemed to come from nowhere. But anyways, she came on the air and she notified everybody that she had been living in a sober house. She's also come out on her show and said that she had a cocaine problem, a heavy cocaine problem, allegedly, when I think she had gotten a radio show in Jamaica or some Caribbean island. She had gotten a show. So I don't know if it started there or her early 20s, but at some point she said she had a heavy alcohol and drug problem. That's what Wendy said on her show, or on that documentary that came out about her, I think a few years ago after her show got canceled. And again, that's why I say I feel like her niece is being respectful and holding back, because she says, when they ask her about the alcoholism, she basically says, in no uncertain terms, she's basically like, I'm not at liberty to say. She didn't use those words, but in my opinion, that's what she was saying. I'm not at liberty to say. She may know everything. She just ain't at liberty to say. And that's a good phrase. Because it's not saying she doesn't know anything. So later they can be like, oh, you're a liar. She's lying. She's not credible. She's lying. She can say, you don't know what I know. But whatever it is that I know, I'm not at liberty to say. And I agree with that. I would say the other big news that's associated, I would say, with this story. Excuse me and my Kool-Aid, okay? I don't know how many of y'all know about Kool-Aid, but I'm just saying, sis is over here drinking the old school Kool-Aid. Okay. Listen, y'all remember the Cool Cup lady? Anyway, you grew up in the 80s and the 90s, you know about it. I remember going to their house, apartments. I was in my cousin's apartment, and it was like, I don't know, maybe 9:30 in the morning or whatever. Everybody still sleep on a Saturday morning. I'm knocking. They like, what flavor you want? Grape. Anywho, um, so like I was gonna say, the other big news is that, so there was this documentary that's being made about Wendy Williams. I don't know everything the documentary is supposed to entail, but I think it has something to do with her legacy and or where her life is right now, and the downfall of maybe her and her husband and the whole situation over there to the left with the girl and the baby and all that. I think that's what it was about, and maybe all of the people in her life that maybe weren't the most above board human beings. I'll say it like that. And I say that because a few years ago, I feel like maybe 1 or 2 years ago, there was this whole big deal where Wells Fargo, I believe, I don't know who exactly they contacted, but basically Wells Fargo was allegedly saying that they felt as though Wendy Williams was being financially abused on some level, or taken advantage of, or maybe not competent, allegedly, to make decisions, sound decisions regarding her finances. That's what it came across to me. And I remember Wendy going on, I don't know if she went on social media, wherever she went, but I remember her going on there talking about how, people have her money. I don't think she, if I can remember correctly, I don't think she liked that Wells Fargo had her money all tied up. But what's interesting to me is I don't trust Wells Fargo anyway. Yeah, I said it. I used to have Wells Fargo. I don't trust them. I actually worked for a company years ago that was putting some things together because Wells Fargo, I believe, had been sued, like in a class action lawsuit, about things that they were doing or their employees were doing that was messing with people's mortgages or something like that. I'm sure if you Google it, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I remember being there because part of my job was, I'm not even going to get into that, but we were basically hired to sift through everything. Okay. And give people their money back. so that's why I say I don't trust them. But when they came on TV and they didn't come on TV, when it was being, reported that there was this situation with Wells Fargo and they like basically froze her money in no uncertain terms, allegedly. And Wendy was mad about it, allegedly, because she wanted access to her money. Now, I was just very confused by that whole situation because I'm like, I don't understand how Wendy's broke, which is what this new documentary, I guess, is going to kind of go into. Not only that, I think it's going to talk about all the gatekeepers and all the people who aren't the most savory, like I said, the most above board people who maybe contributed to why Wendy is where she is currently. And allegedly, Wendy Williams is also an executive producer. But here's the thing, because that's what some people I feel like are trying to hide behind. It's like, well, it's true because she's an executive producer. Be very clear. A title doesn't necessarily mean you have power. Okay? Catch it. You could start a business. Okay? You could start your own business and write your own bylaws or whatever, write your own, rules and whatnot. And at some point, you get enough people when you go public or it's publicly traded or whatever the case may be, they could put you out. Be clear. They get enough votes to say you unstable or enough doctors to agree with them about your competency. That's that word again. And then suddenly you don't even have control of your money anymore or your business or any of your assets. It can happen. And I think if I remember correctly, Wendy Williams on the little, what is it called? The little, sneak peek or whatever. She's saying if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. Because I always felt like, how is Wendy not winning? Like, she's on daytime TV every single day, Monday through Friday. So I'm like, sis is getting a check, right? Would seem to me. But I also felt like, I don't know what is going on. I feel like something's in my eye. I also felt like after a while, after I knew or heard more about her husband, it just felt like she's being controlled. That's what it felt like. It came across to me based on things that people were saying about this man. Because I don't know him from a can of paint. I don't. But he just never came across as some knight in shining armor to me. So I think people are, the people that are saying, oh, well, she's an executive producer, they're saying that because they're hoping that people who aren't very cerebral will think, oh, well, then, if she's in charge of everything, then she must have approved everything. And let's be clear again, that title doesn't mean nothing. If you have not, I'll give y'all an assignment. If you haven't, and you really think, I don't know about Chanel and what she's saying on Chanel's reality, go watch a movie called I Care a Lot. Watch it from beginning to end. And you will really fully understand why I'm saying what I'm saying and how people can put you, gatekeepers, can put you in a whole conservatorship that you know nothing about and that you don't even need. Now, I'm not saying that Wendy did or didn't because I ain't her doctor, okay? But, and I have not assessed her, okay? Let's be clear. But there are loopholes and all kinds of ways to get people into conservatorships where you take all their power. And once you take their power, you can take their money, you can take their assets, you can take their houses, and whatever else they have. Because you've proven to the court that these people are not fit to manage their own finances or manage their own lives. And these people are perfectly fine. So go watch I Care a Lot. It's a really good movie. And it's true. I'm not saying it's a true story. I'm saying I've worked in mental health. I've worked with people who have intellectual disabilities and guardians and all kinds of people having to manage these people's money and help them make sure that they're not taking advantage of it because they have intellectual disabilities, which is why they have a guardian. Or, well, I would say for the people I worked with, or autism or whatever it is. So I was the program manager making sure that people's money is being spent properly. Okay, making sure that your grandson not buying any Gucci shoes, abusing you. Anywho, so like I said, the biggest news is that Lifetime, I believe it's Lifetime, was scheduled to air this documentary. I think in a few days, like maybe tomorrow or Saturday or something. And then someone who is, what I've heard is the conservator of Wendy. So basically has custody of Wendy, so to speak. That's usually what a conservator is. They have custody of a human being, essentially. And they make the decisions for that human being. Financially, mentally, emotionally, they make all of the decisions for that person. People can say, hey, we want to add this or we want to take that, or, they can do all of those things. But the guardian and or the power of attorney and or a conservator, especially the conservator, if they have conservatorship over you, everything you do, depending on how the documentation is set up, they're in charge. Which is why it's important to try to get a secondary, what's the right word? Assessment of said person that's in conservatorship. If you're in conservatorship because you're deemed that you're not able to make decisions for yourself. And a good example of that would be someone who's suffering from Alzheimer's, dementia, who has IDD, like I said, intellectual disabilities, on and on and on. I don't know what Wendy has, and I really haven't followed her a lot, mostly because I just think it's sad. And I hate it. It's like I hate to sit and watch someone be taken advantage of and know that I'm powerless really to do anything about it. Because I'm a girl that sees things and I'm like, okay, what's the plan? Let's get a plan together, okay? We got an action plan. We have a goal. We have a timeline. It's very specific, okay? It's realistic. Let's get it. That's me. So if I can't really help, I just don't even want to know, almost, But listen, I'm building my YouTube community, so I do want to talk about things that do matter. And like I said, I wasn't her biggest fan, but she matters. Everyone does, right? And at the very least, everyone wants to matter. And I think it's sad what's going on with her. I do. I also think it's crazy that it's so weird because, like I said, with the husband situation, the Kelvin guy, and the side baby and all of that, it just felt like it triggered her, in my opinion. And it seemed like after she made that decision with whomever she made it with to say, I'm leaving and I'm going to divorce him, because it was just breaking news every single day about her. It's weird because what has been alleged about their relationship is that there was abuse of physical or emotional abuse or both. There was cheating because he had a baby with the other girl. I think on some level, there's some people out here that believe in respectable cheating. Like, don't bring that hoe home type of stuff. Or just make sure y'all somewhere private. Like, this is my problem with the whole thing. It's like, listen, there are people on earth that are like, I don't want to be, I want to be number one. Sis, you still missing the bar. Come closer. Top tier talking to you. What they say, a 10 is talking. Let's be clear. No, you should. I don't want to be number one. I'm the only. Let's be very, very clear about that. Okay? Catch it. Just saying. That's top tier behavior. I'm not going to be on the team. Are you serious? No, not doing that. And I'm the breadwinner? Girl, bye. Deuces. But everybody, and this I will say, I respect. If you have this gender role and he has this gender role, or y'all have this agreement, y'all love the way y'all marriage is set up, and it isn't traditional or it isn't for me, that's okay. I'm not in your marriage. I don't want to be in your marriage. Let's be clear. I think let people live. I am a strong believer of allowing people to be exactly who they are, because I want to be who I am. And one thing I am is God made me an original, sis, so why would I be a copy? That's not top tier behavior. Just saying. This is Chanel's reality. It don't have to be everybody else's reality, but it's Chanel. I'm Chanel. It's my reality. That's how I see it. Like, girl, I gotta be the only. And if you listen, and if you don't agree, that's fine. Go on down the street, get the cuter, slimmer, whatever person. She ain't gonna be better than me. I can promise you that. Be clear. Anywho, is there anything else I wanted to say about Wendy? I do think too, with the situation with her parents passing. I don't know if both of them passed, but I know for sure the mom passed. I feel like the dad's gone too. I feel like that. But if he's not, I apologize. Let me apologize if he's not. It's sad. It's sad. But that's the breaking news, and I really kind of wanted to come on here and talk to you guys. I've been working really hard all day. I didn't get off work until I left the area where I was providing, therapy services at 8 o'clock. So I'm like, oh my God. My husband's like, you should do a video. I'm like, oh, but I should do a video. He's right. I'm trying to build a community here. So please, 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 please let me know what you guys think. This is my first live. I've never done a live before, and I have 0 comments and 0 people watching. But listen, I'm going places, okay? Anyways, so let me know when you get to the comments, when this video, you do click on it. Please like it, share it, subscribe to my channel, Chanel's Reality, and hit the notification button. I've already told you why. So you'll get notified when I go live and do other things. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know. What do you think? Do you think that, her family are the reason that this is going on? Do you think it's this conservator person? What do you think about them putting this halt? Because from what I understand, the conservator put a halt to the release of this Lifetime movie about her, or documentary or whatever. Why do you think that is? I'm hearing that, supposedly it's going to make the family or whomever, it's going to make some people look not so great. But that's typically what documentaries do. Be clear. Unless it's like The Science of Dogs. You know what I mean? That's a more heartfelt, or like Planet Earth. That's a documentary, but it's just talking about how animals, migrate, and it's really cool. Documentary if you watch. I like documentaries. But typically documentaries are usually exposing someone for something. Hence, Surviving R. Kelly. And usually there is a slanted view. But there's lots of facts to go along with it, and you can kind of decide for yourself what you think. So like I said, let me know what you guys think. What do you think? Do you think she should still be in a conservatorship? Do you think she should be able to do whatever? What do you think about her son? What do you think about the documentary coming out? Do you think it should come out, especially since she's the executive producer? I have to say, I wasn't as interested because I don't really. There's certain people or celebrities that I'm like, I'll watch it if it's on, kind of thing. But she's one that I kind of wanted to see, not necessarily running to see it, because I'm like I said, it's just like I felt like it's gonna be sad. It's gonna be something that's gonna just annoy me because of how this woman is being treated after she's, worked so diligently and so hard for everything that she earned. And now it appears that maybe she doesn't have control of any of it. That to me is sad. It's so sad. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that there was an alcohol problem? I know that it was speculated and supposedly when she said she went in that sober house, people were saying it was for alcoholism, but I don't know. You could be sober from pain pills, right? Or what is it called? Psychotropic drug. You could be misusing lots of things and be in a sober house. So, or sober living. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if it was alcohol, if it was drugs, if it was a combination. What do you guys think? Who do you believe? Who do you think she should trust? The only person I really feel maybe has it right is her niece. And I don't know her sister. I think she's close to her sister too. Those are the two people I would say. Maybe. But you just never know. Anyways, guys, again, thank you for joining me or not joining me, seeing this live later, clicking on it later. So if you'll be part of the replay crew, as Kim Power would say, put down what you guys think. I also want to do a panel on colorism. I'm going to do one by the end of this month. That's the goal. So let me know. I'll post, when it's going to, when we're going to do it. So that way you guys can join in the chat. Anyway, bye, guys. See you later. Let's see. Now, I did this live. I don't know how to undo it. Do I hit the X? I don't know. Hopefully I didn't do this live and you didn't hear anything. Let's see. Are you sure